Hello!
Hi!
Welcome to Friday with Friends. Friday with Friends is our opportunity to talk about what's happening in the market, answer any questions you might have, so that if you have any real estate needs, we would absolutely love the opportunity to be your realtor of choice.
Yes, and we have a really great topic today. Everyone has been hearing, and if you've learned or if you've listened to any of our Friday with Friends episodes, you know that the market is crazy right now. So when that happens, we also see that conversations start to happen with our clients and other people in the community about potentially selling their house by themselves. And so we're here to kind of talk about why that might not be the best idea, even though the market's so strong.
And we'll use the term FSBO, which is really a for sale by owner. So if you see FSBO, it's a for sale by owner. And there are so many people that use for sale by owner, they always have. And especially in this market, people are saying, well, I can just do it myself. You could put a sign in the yard and you could get an offer. And here's the reality. You could. You definitely could. Mm-hmm. And so what we want to do today is we're sharing the conversations that we are having in real life with other sellers right now, where we are helping them decide if for sale by owner is the best route, because sometimes it might be. But a lot of the times what we're finding is when they go through the process and we haven't really shared all of these details with them, they get themselves into a tight spot. They get themselves where they weren't saving the money that they thought they could, and they weren't, the for sale by owner, the whole reason and their goals for doing it actually weren't met. Yeah. So we want to make sure that anyone who's selling for sale by owner understands the process, so that as you're going through this, you're going to be able to feel more confident if for sale by owner is the path for you, or if it's something that we can help with.
Exactly. So we're going to really start with breaking down some of the stats. And a lot of times, a lot of the numbers that we're going to look at are from NAR, which is the National Association of Realtors. So for us, that's where we're looking and where we're getting our numbers from. And so we like to kind of start with the numbers, because of the people that sold for sale by owner last year, 41% of them did so to save on the commissions. And so we're understanding that and kind of starting really early on in this Friday with Friends with the numbers. So from National Association of Realtors, from NAR, in 2020, the median selling price for a home, period, in the U.S. was $242,300. Okay, so that was the average median sale price for homes. If it was a for sale by owner, that number dropped to $217,900. So you can see just from the median sale price down, you can see that with a for sale by owner, you are reducing the possibility for sale price in that. Now, when you have an agent assisting you, that price, again, median of $242, went up to $295,000.
Yeah. And it's because too, when we were looking 2 episodes ago, we did where we got into the stats of Q1. And in Monroe County, not only are we getting above average, but it was 101. It was over 101 list price to sale price. So we are in, I have to understand, there's some properties that may still be selling for 94, 95%. So there's also homes that are selling for 105%. And
way more than that sometimes.
Way more than that. And so the message being is it's not just what it's what your house lists for, but then it is also what it ends up selling for.
And that's why it's really important. So again, average price point for a house when it's listed for sale by owner, $217. I'm just reiterating this. But when there's an agent assisted, we're up to $295. So you're definitely seeing that when there's an agent who knows the market, knows what they need to do, staging, pricing, marketing, all of that good stuff, it definitely has an impact. It's not just pop a sign in the front yard, and we'll get into that more. Now, this is something huge that if you maybe have a seller and you're a seller and your friend wants to buy the house, when the seller actually knew the buyer and sold for sale by owner, the sale price was even lower. It was at an average $176. So from a median price of $242 down to $176,000. So even when you know the person, it goes down a little bit lower.
And that's fair, because you're like, I just want it to be an easy sale. So right. you can. And again, that's when we say, yes, it might make sense for you too if you're not valuing that money. But when we talk to people, most of the time they don't use us because they're trying to save money. Whereas we can enter into the conversation and say, let's really get down to the nitty gritty to see if that's a reality for you.
Yep, exactly. So let's do the math on all of
Okay,
this.
let's do it.
And don't worry, we did it for you, so you don't need to take out your calculators. But so let's using that average or that median sale price across the U.S. is $242,300 to be exact. So that's going to be the median price. Now, talk to us, Mans, a little bit about, let's say you're a for sale by owner. What does a standard commission setup look like?
So we can't say like this is what people sell with, but a normal situation would be that the seller would be offering 6%. And 6% would mean that 3% would go towards the buyer's agent, 3% can go to paying the listing agent's company. Now again, it could be 7, it could be 8, it could be 2, it could be 4, it could be whatever. But
standard.
Normal. 3 and 3. In today's market, there are very few buyers that are unrepresented. Is this where you want me to go?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Keep going.
There are very few buyers that are unrepresented. And what that means is you are going to have to be paying, whether you're for sale by owner or not, you are still going to be paying that 3% or that fee on that buy side. So when you list your house for sale by owner, you really are saving 3%, which is the 3% that you would be spending for the listing agent.
Exactly. And so when we're kind of breaking it down, because there are some for sale by owners that say, nope, I'm not going to be paying any commissions, whether it's for the buyers or the listing agent. But we broke it down into both, because if you put yourself in a for sale by owner's shoes, let's say a buyer's agent has a buyer and your house is listed and you're offering 3% versus an MLS listing, they're always going to offer 3%. So now you're kind of lessening maybe your desire, how desirable you are and things like that to different buyers. So that's why most for sale by owners do offer a buyer's agent commission. So if they did, and they're offering 3% at the median sale price of $242,300. I'm sorry. Of the $295. Great. This is off of $295. Thank you. So this is off of if there was an agent assisting you. Your sale price would be $295,000. 3% would save you $8,850. If you did the whole 6%, it would save $17,700. So if you can see the math, when you have an agent assisting you at $295 versus the for sale by owner, that's going to be much, much more than $17,000. In fact, it's $35,000 more you're going to make with an agent using these numbers than if you were to not and save that dollar on commission.
So the key point is to really make sure you know the numbers and to be able to know what's available to you. I have a story that I share all of the time with our team, is that there was a friend of mine who said, we met, she really wanted to sell her house with us, and then all of a sudden she's like, no, I think that we're gonna try it on our own. And I want to be a friend, right? I want to support, but I also know that we could really help you. So fast forward a few months down the road, and she shares that they are in the middle of moving. And I was like, what do you mean? I thought you were building. Well, the contract that they got said that they had to be out in 60 days. So now they have, not only did they get list price, which we probably could have gotten them 10 to 15 grand over list price, but they had to move twice.
So there's fees associated with that.
So there was fees associated with moving, and they've got little kids, and there were so many moving parts that for me, when I didn't explain, let's talk numbers, let's see how we can help, there's so much more that goes into it. So that's why what we're gonna be talking about next is to be able to really help understand the actual process of home buying and selling, and how we can add value to you, but also how we can make it so that not only are you not losing any money on commission, but you are able to have more money in your pocket when you walk away from the transaction.
Exactly. And the reason that we wanted to start with the numbers is because for a lot of people, that's where it is.
Yeah.
They say, I don't care about anything else. Financially, I'm going to try and squeeze every penny out. And so we wanted to start with that to really give you the numbers straight up to say, really, you're going to end up losing money when you go for sale by owner, even though you're saving on commission. There's that, but at the end of the day, when the average price using a realtor is just so much higher, plus all these things you're going to talk about, it really seems to be more difficult, and also you're not maybe saving as much money as you thought you would. So we wanted to start with that, but let's talk about why you should have a realtor, or as we say, a friend
on your side. And of course, everything that we are saying, we understand that there are times when it might make more sense to go for sale by owner. We completely understand that. We just feel that because we've seen so many people burned by it and then came to us after, or it's some sort of a stat where it was 50% of the people that ended up listing their house for sale by owner said that they would never do it again. But then of that remaining, I think it was like 75% ended up actually using an agent.
Got it.
So it's one of those things, sometimes people try it and then they're like, okay, no. But the hard part about this industry, or this market right now, is there's really no such thing as trying, because you're going to get an offer. It's just you might not get that right one and that best one.
Exactly.
So they don't get that second chance to be able to make sure that they're taken good care of. So the first thing that we always talk about when it comes to how our team can help and why a realtor can help is this overarching theme of taking stress off you. And people say, oh, I can handle it. Well, okay. And what are all of the things that you're also trying to handle right now? That this is our full-time job. We do this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have 10 people on our team that help our buyers and sellers. This isn't something that is, oh, this little extra thing that we're doing on the side. And for you, it might be a lot. So as we're going through this, to also know that the emotional side to it is something that is a reality, that it might just be too much for some of our sellers to be able to handle everything that we're going to be talking about. So stress fracture. The stress factor is the first thing to talk about.
Exactly. So just kind of piggybacking off that, anything from coordinating showings, tracking feedback, tracking offers, outlining offers, every little detail we handle. So really that's it. Nothing really else that you need to do. And we'll kind of get into more of that. But another piece of the puzzle that we're going to be doing is making sure that we're pricing it accurately. Me and our team, we are reviewing the market literally all day, every day. If you saw our 2 episodes ago, you know that we are constantly tracking the market, constantly tracking the stats, because if you're not up to date with what's going on with the market. So we love doing that. And the pricing piece of listing your home is critical. Too high, it's not going to be successful because buyers are going to see it and wave it off. Too low, you might not be taking advantage of the market. So we want to be aggressive and strategic. That's always what we like to say. So pricing is huge. And as a realtor, we guide you through that to give you all the information that you need.
And I think a key with pricing your home right now is that we don't have 60 days to wait for these sales to show up. And so right now, Abby just listed a house, priced it perfectly, and we just got 70 grand over asking?
70,000.
70,000 over asking. And the piece was we knew where it could go, because we know that our buyer agent just put in an offer for 50,000 on a house and she didn't win it. So when you are trying to price your house, you can't go off closed sales 60 days ago. You have to be in the market knowing what people are winning, what people aren't winning, so that you can be relatable and that you can make sure you're pricing it right. But if you price it too high, you're not going to create that energy. If you price it too low, you're going to create so much energy that sometimes people are going to say, oh, there's 60 offers on that house. I don't want to write an offer. Or people sometimes think it's too low. We've had people who said they don't even want to write an offer because they know there's going to be 50 offers.
Right.
And then there isn't.
Or what's wrong with it? Why is it too low too? So
exactly.
There's a lot of different things when it comes to pricing, but with our team and with many realtors, there is a constant flow of data coming into our team because we're out there in the market all day, every day. So that's why pricing is so important. And that's another thing that a realtor is going to do, is help guide, advise on the pricing side of things.
Yes. The next thing that we as a realtor can do, and you as a for sale by owner, make sure that you are doing, is staging your house right. Yes, we completely understand it is a seller's market. You do not have to do that bathroom renovation that you had to do 3 years ago. However, you still need to have it look nice and presentable. We still need to have that emotional appeal where the buyer is seeing themselves in there.
Yeah.
So then it's your job to be able to determine, well, should I put $5,000 into redoing these cabinets? Should I put $1,000 into this new floor? Should I? So sometimes people are spending money in areas they don't have to be because they don't have a realtor guiding them to say, you do not have to do that. However, you do have to do this, and we're going to get a $5,000 return on this $1,000 investment because we feel that it's going to make an impact with the way that the buyer is viewing the property. So staging is so much more than just making sure the furniture is in the right place. It's also making sure that all the features of the house we're able to really maximize kind of that emotional pull for our buyers.
Definitely. Staging is so important. And, that's such a great point, because a lot of times when I come to meet with our clients, they have a laundry list of everything they think they need to do. And, maybe a for sale by owner might do those things, but then we can say, actually, just do 1, 5, and 7, and the rest we don't need to do. So saving a ton of money, I'm sure, on that side of things.
And
as well.
a ton of time, too. If you are a time person, that is where it's people. I just saved you 10 hours of work. What's your dollar per hour? What's the value of your time that you now save because we can guide you on that staging properly?
Yes or no.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And then the next one is we are trained negotiators. Yes, that is true. So I love this. So in this market, again, really up to the minute data is crucial here as well. What should you do with offers? Should we do delayed negotiations? Should we take offers as they come in? What is the market looking like at that minute, and what should we do in terms of offers? Also, again, how to time the offers, that's going to be the delayed negotiations, but how to have the conversations with realtors. We have terrific relationships with all of the agents in the market, so we can really have those conversations to give our sellers or our buyers, the best deal possible.
And sometimes we find that for sale by owners, in my experience that I just shared, that seller didn't know that they could ask for a rent back. They didn't know that was standard. They didn't know that that's something that we are asking for all of our sellers if they're in a contingent situation, or if they are going into a new build, for example. The rent back is something you just know we can ask for, and we can say, our sellers like, oh my gosh, that's such a relief that I don't have to do that. And again, reducing that stress and making it more of a seamless transaction, because when you are in the seller side, you can ask for anything right now. You really can. So making sure that when you have the realtor, you're utilizing them to be able to say, okay, well, what can I ask for? What can I ask for? When it comes to also trade negotiations, the point that Abby just touched on was delayed negotiations. The example was in this situation, they listed the house on Craigslist maybe, and then they put a sign in the yard, and then they got an offer the first day. And that offer was good until 3 o'clock. And so they accepted that offer. Well, in the next 2-3 days, what do you think they're getting? More offers, better offers, but they just accepted that offer because they didn't know about delayed negotiations. And of course they didn't have the exposure to be able to maximize it, but they were still getting these offers, but they surely weren't as strong as the offers that we would be able to cultivate, because we know the right energy to create, the right delay in negotiations, but also not delaying it so much that buyers don't want to wait. So that timing is critical, and knowing how to negotiate, knowing what to ask for, what standard to ask for, what we can kind of push the bar and try to ask for and see if they'll agree to. We know those ways to make sure that it's not just a financial, but also logistics. It makes it easier for you and for your family.
Definitely. I love that. Okay, awesome. And then the next thing is knowing the contracts. This is huge. Again, maybe if you're a for sale by owner, you receive an offer, it says you need a response by 3 p.m. What does that look like? What are you signing? We're on call pretty much all the time. So having those conversations is something that we're doing all day, every day. If you do have an attorney representing you, making that call that quickly might not be easy. And frankly, who looks at real estate contracts? Unless you're an agent or an attorney, you're most likely not looking at it. I've probably looked at thousands at this point. So I know what to look for in contracts. And that's huge, because you might feel pressure to accept an offer, but you don't feel comfortable because you don't know what you're reading. And that's huge, is understanding the contracts and knowing that you have that person on your side at all times to help with that.
Yeah, and we never say that we are lawyers. We do not have our law degree to be able to review these contracts, but we know what you're agreeing to. We know what people are writing in an addendum or adding things in. We can be able to spot those things so that you know what you're agreeing to, and it's not something where you have to pull an attorney in. Because frankly, we have a lot of attorneys that we work with right now, and guys, the attorneys right now are also slammed. They're completely slammed. So we got a referral from an attorney who was like, you do not sell for sale by owner. Whatever you do not sell for sale by owner, because his fee reviewing the multiple offers would be the equivalent to that 3%. That 3% that
easily.
seller is saving is going to, that attorney has to review the multiple offers, has to respond to them, and they don't have that kind of time right now to be going through that. And so it was just an interesting anecdote when we talk about contracts is 9 times out of 10, you are utilizing an attorney. It is New York, it's an attorney.
Yeah, so 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10, but
yeah.
you're using an attorney as compensation for not having a realtor that is representing you. And so there's an additional fee from that. Now, sometimes you get one offer and it's clean and it's cut. And we have buyers or sellers who say, I just want to sell my house. You, of course, can just use an attorney. The conversations we're having is around when really making sure you're looking at the numbers is the attorney fee that you will be paying, balancing out with the commission that you would be saving. And the attorney will get involved. They sometimes won't get involved in inspections. Like they can't say, well, I would advise you to do this. Like that's what your realtor would help you with. I can't advise you on appraisal issues. That's what your realtor would be helping with. So there's so many things that, and that brings that's our segue into our next point. So that was knowing the contracts. What's the next one?
Yeah, the next one is just hiccups anywhere from once the contract is reviewed and accepted to getting to the closing table. We wish it was rainbows and butterflies, but it is not. There are hurdles and hiccups that come throughout the transaction portion. So whether it's inspection repairs, inspection issues, maybe something comes up that you need to have an electrician look at. We have electricians that we can refer and things like that. So hiccups with the inspection is huge. It's a big part of our job, and we're able to really handle that where an attorney might not want to or have the ability to. Also, appraisal. There could be issues with the bank appraisal. There could be issues with the financing side of things. So we've had experience, obviously, in working with those. An attorney might not be able to. So getting to the closing table is also something to consider.
And a quick education point for any of you listening that are considering selling your house for sale by owner, or really in general, is when you are getting multiple offers, which pulls the purchase price above and beyond list price, and they are getting financing, you need to make sure that that bank thinks the home is worth, aka what it appraises at. You need to make sure that that bank appraises the home for that increased amount. So when we are helping select offers, we're making sure we're looking at what banks they're using. If the house doesn't appraise, will the buyer be able to make up the difference? So when it comes to all of these hiccups, a lot of the times we can see them before they're coming by reviewing the offers with you and really analyzing with our experience and helping as many sellers as we do to determine if this is really an offer that's realistic for us to be able to get an appraisal on.
Yeah, that is huge. And that's something that, again, kind of back up to the not pricing it right, but the not knowing the contracts. If you have 5 contracts, you might say, great, well, they all look good. And it's, we got list price and we're happy, but there's so many other pieces of the puzzle when it comes to rent back, as we've talked about, but also what's not going to fall apart in 30 days? What I always talk with my sellers about, let's reduce the risk as much as possible that you have an issue in 30 days down the line throughout the transaction. So there are lots of contingencies, things like that. So we're looking through all of that. We want to reduce the risk, and appraisal is a huge piece of that as well.
And then the last piece is market insights. These are the kind of things that, let's say that your home, I know you're gonna fall on your face for a minute, but let's say your home doesn't sell. Maybe you priced it too high. Maybe there's just something unique about your home that's making it not sell. You don't know how to adjust. Was it that my marketing is off? Was it that my pricing is off? And you kind of sometimes get stuck. And this is where, in the good old days, we would have a lot of for sale by owners come to us to say, we think we priced it wrong, we're not sure about marketing, and we'll go and say, actually, you priced it perfectly, you just aren't marketing it properly. Because they're about to do a 10 grand price reduction, and we come in and say, don't reduce it, let us market it. We really feel that your home is worth that. And so these market insights allow us to be able to educate through the process, to be able to make sure that if we do face any challenges, we know the way around them and we have a solid direction to go.
Yeah, no, I think that's perfect. I think that's perfect because once you put the house on the market, that's not the end. In many instances, there's open houses, there's showings, there's coordinating all of that, there's tracking all of that. And so that's something else that's really important is great, we're getting showings, but what's the feedback? Are they interested in writing offers? What is the data that we're seeing once we list the house, and how is that going to help determine what's next?
I'm just laughing because if there is an offer, if there's something where we're negotiating multiple offers, Abby's phone doesn't stop ringing, because if there are 60 offers, let's just say, that's 60 agents. Imagine how many people didn't actually write and just showed the property. So it's navigating every single one of those, the feedback from that, answering the questions that they may have. How big is that living room again? All of those pieces that it is this constant flow of where there needs to be a lot of information. You need to make sure you can do that. So, that's our overarching message is, should you list your house for sale by owner? Well, hopefully you can see the value that might make it so that you're reconsidering, okay, is saving that 3% or whatever your amount is saving that listing side commission really worth it? And that's where we have this conversation to say, is it? Are you good? Are you good? Are you good? Great. Listing your house for sale by owner makes sense for you. But if you go through and you're like, oh, I didn't think of that, I didn't think of that, that's when you can call us. And that's when we can help analyze it, go through your numbers. And Abby's even met with people who said, I'm considering listing my house for sale by owner. Can you help me determine what the best bet is? And Abby can come in and talk and brainstorm. So it's not anything where there's any sort of commitment. It's us truly, truly trying to make sure that we are doing what is best for our client, helping them reach their goals.
Definitely. I love it. Perfect.
Well, thanks for tuning in today to Friday with Friends. Again, Friday with Friends is our opportunity to talk about what's going on in the real estate market, answer any questions you might have, so that if you have any real estate needs, we would love the opportunity to be your realtor of choice.
Awesome.
You can visit us at friendonyourside.com, anywhere on social media. We'd love to help however we can.
Perfect.
Bye.
Bye.